Red for red candles. Just kidding. There are two professions, right, that can continuously get it wrong, but they're forgiven for it. It's kind of expected. One of them is the career of weather forecasting, or the profession of weather forecasting. The other profession is cryptocurrency predictions, right? So hear me out. If you live in a country like the UK, for instance, you would have gotten used over the years of our weather forecasters just getting it wrong. It's not like they don't know what they're doing. It's just that the weather here is so capricious that sometimes, even though the charts, the data, the analyses, the satellites, etc., say one thing is going to happen predictably, and then something completely different happens because nobody really knows the future. They can only interpolate forward and say, based on, past data, patterns, this is what's supposed to happen, right? Likewise, in crypto, right? A lot of these predictions that you hear coming out of people, chart analysts, professionals, blah, 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 are based somewhat on sort of the same idea. Charts, analyses, history, etc. What they can never account for are black swan events and acts of God and things that we're not privy to because we are humans that live in a linear existence of time. So we're not, we can only be aware of the stuff that we've already experienced, right? So we don't have any information from the future. And this information that is lacking could be something that critically changes the trajectory of things, which is why, even though, we have the Bitcoin halving in a couple of days, we have the charts indicating that at this time, usually this happens. We have fundamentals looking good. We have issues in the macro environment that would seem to say that crypto should moon, Bitcoin should moon, XRP should moon, etc. The exact opposite could happen, okay? And that exact opposite has been predicted by some to, in fact, be on the way to happen. What I'm trying to say is, people are now saying that we're going to get another dip because, macro events are heating up, okay? That's the primary cause. And the governments are in debt. I mean, look at your bank account, right? Look at the price of things in the supermarkets when you go to shop, right? Everything is up. Yesterday, I went to buy this sort of, it's like a meat snack that I eat sometimes, right? And even through all of the inflation and all of that sort of stuff, the price is going to remain between 95 cents and £1 wherever I go. And just yesterday, I went into a supermarket to try and grab it, and it jumped to £1 and 30 pence. A 30% inflation in real life. Now, they won't report that. They will have the inflation massaged down so that the data doesn't look that bad. But in real terms and in real experiences, the people who are actually spending money in supermarkets and buying things in real life, people paying, gas money and petrols for their car and car insurance and all that stuff, it's gone up 100%, 200%, 300% in the past few years. They're not going to tell you inflation has gone up 300%. No. They've got their sort of ways of massaging it down so that it doesn't look as bad as it really is. Things are terrible at the moment. Expensive. Especially if you live in a country like the UK, in a city like London, where things are expensive anyway, right? The same, my brother who lives in America says it's the same, probably even worse where he lives. My friends in Paris say the same thing. People in Hong Kong are telling me the same thing. So global inflation is out of control. Okay, I think what they're having in Japan might be slightly different. There might be deflation, which is even worse, I think. So the situation is dire, and the governments are about to print even more money, like I keep saying, right? They're probably on their way already. So at some point, we're going to get rate hikes yet again. But all that actually adds to the data and suggests that people are going to run to Bitcoin, run to gold, silver, land, all of the assets that are supposed to preserve wealth. But in actuality, what's going to happen though to Bitcoin is that these traders on Wall Street that are in charge of giant funds, hedge funds, investment portfolios for billionaires, they control a lot of money. And a lot of them are bought heavily into Bitcoin and crypto. And a lot of them are going to dump because, again, from their point of view, Bitcoin is a risk-on asset. It is a tech stock like Tesla. You have to remember, these guys, their expertise is in finance, right? They follow the charts, they follow the traditional stock markets and the rules that they were taught in university or in their apprenticeship or whatever. These guys, most of them don't know much about crypto. Even if they know about crypto, they're not on board with your idealist future where, we break out of the fiat system and we're self-sovereign with our own cryptos and stuff. They're not on board with that. What they're on board with is making profit and cashing in on whatever profit that they have to the benefit of their investors. Because if they don't do that, they will get fired. And their billionaires that invest with them will move their funds somewhere else to somebody else who does. So there are no idealists on Wall Street. None of them cares about your project. None of them cares about XRP and its, future of becoming the bridge currency of the world and transferring money. They don't care about any of that. That's you and me. We care about that stuff. They don't. They don't care about the unbanked masses in rural areas. They don't care about XRP healthcare and reducing the cost of prescription drugs to people. They don't care about XRP healthcare providing access to people in remote places, in corners of South America, Africa, Asia. They don't care about any of that stuff. What they care about is, can I buy low and sell high and make billions for my investor? That's all they care about. And at this point, what their rule book tells them to do is to dump risky assets, okay? And what are risky assets? Tech stocks, equities that, move very quickly. Not stuff like land, real estate. Those are seen as more stable. Those are things that are seen as wealth preserving and less volatile. Now, Bitcoin obviously is very volatile because it's crypto. And they see the 10, 20% jumps, which in their own traditional stock market world is seen as calamitous. A 10% dump, are you kidding? That's the end of the world in the stock markets. But in crypto, it's just a Tuesday afternoon, guys. Knowing that Wednesday afternoon, we might get a 25% pump. They don't know that. They might start to know, but again, they have to adhere to their rule book and their training. So what we might get now is another dip, guys. And even though the leverage on the system has reduced somewhat because of the massive liquidations that we're seeing in the past couple of days, the leverage is starting to build up again. The bulls are getting back, trying to make up some of that money that they lost. And the whales might play along. They might see the leverage and dump it even further. As usual, none of this is financial advice, but what I tend to do is ensure that I have a little bit of dry powder. So when we see these dips, I can basically participate in it. Because in the long run, I know that the price is going to go back up. We're going to hit the all-time highs again. If you think about it, right, we're still in the 60s, which is higher than we were a month ago. And a month ago, people were telling you that there's no way that Bitcoin was going to hit all-time highs before the halving. Is it a month ago or 2 months ago now, almost? Right? But now we're basically flirting with the all-time highs pretty much on a weekly basis. I know it was dipped 5, 6, 7%. But we're only one good pump away from smashing into price discovery yet again. And that's cryptocurrencies for you. And when we're in extreme greed and the euphoria sets in, we completely forget what happened just a week prior, which is everyone saying that everything was going to hell. So it's important to understand what's going on, control your emotions, calibrate your feelings, and keep focused on the future. Not financial advice, do your own research. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.